developed a very strong work ethic. I never missed a day of work, and I wanted to focus on getting out of the rat race. At 20 years old, I was thinking to myself that I wanted to be retired at the age of 40. And to my family, that sounded ludicrous. It was unachievable. You couldn't get it. You couldn't obtain that. So submit to the working grind like everyone else does. And that created a sense of anxiety in me to the degree where I was not going to relent until I got myself to the position where I wasn't going to have to work for money. Because I felt working for money was a stupid waste of my time, it was a waste of my energy, and there was a lot better things to be doing than to go to work for someone else. They're never going to appreciate you, not to the degree they should, or that you would want them to. So basically, to have a job or go out into the workforce is rather stupid. So now I know some people are going to scoff at that and say, well, everyone needs to work, they have to have a job, they have to have the ends meet, if you will. And I agree. But that's not a destination. Now, unfortunately, most people create that as their final destination because of procrastination, fear of failure, failure to observe the realities of having the resources, whether you accept the fact that you do or don't. Everyone has the resources. There's absolutely zero excuses why within 10 years anyone can retire. Now, I'm not saying that you are going to retire a multi-millionaire, but you could certainly find a way to replace your current income. Now, if you could do that, think about it. Isn't that really the definition of being rich? Now, I'm not saying super wealthy in elite status, but to be rich is you're not working for money anymore. So if you find a way to replace your current income, even if it never goes up, if you just made ends meet, that's rich. Now, some of you would disagree with that because your definition of rich or wealthy or affluent is going to vary from mine. But I'm telling you from a storyline, this is how I came up from this. I came from a very, very modest upbringing, very modest start. So it was a 20-year plan for me. Now, for most of you, you won't subscribe to that. 20 years is too long. Sorry, let me go to the next video. Let me go to another YouTube mentor. Let me see who's selling the system. Okay, give me a process of, give me in 1, 2, 3, give me the profits and wash, rinse, repeat. I never really subscribed to that very long, initially because everyone's baptized in the same way with trading its indicators and buy and sell and this, that, and everything. But I found quickly that that wasn't the way to do it. And because I'm a very analytical person, I have a very technical approach to things. I'm methodical in a lot of ways, and I've always been that way. So if someone speaks to me, I'm always analyzing what's their alternative motive. What's their ulterior motive? And maybe there isn't one, but I'm always thinking that. I'm always trying to decipher, get to the root cause of problems, because that's where the solution resides. In the American society, we're trained to accept the problem and just grind through it. I don't subscribe to that view. I subscribe to the fact that there is an alternative solution to our present condition that is working too much for too little. So I had to submit to a long-term process because I had readily admitted that my aptitude for it was probably going to be insufficient. So therefore, I allowed myself up to the age of 40 years old before I would really consider myself proficient, success, whatever. Okay, so I was already building in a far and wide definition of success, and I gave it a long-term deadline. Now, if you're living with your folks, or if you're living with family members, or if you're living with a person that you don't really want to be with, but because of necessity you have to be there, that is many times a very toxic environment. And when I began trading, I kept it quiet. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing because I already knew what the answer was going to be.